time, and I ain't worried about them hate. All this work that I done did, this is my time. Cute chick, I'm a boss. Watch a man and he'll get lost. This is my time. YouTube, I'm a star. I done made myself a boss. This is my time, and I'ma shine. It's Tyra time, it's Tyra time.
Hi guys, it's Tyra, and today I'm just here to do a little story time with you guys. So today's story is going to be about how I found out that my mother had died. Okay, so my mother died in 2007, and at the time, me and my sister was in Job Corps. So we had already not seen our mother for a while. Like, we already missed her. It was already like we was ready to get home to see her. We was waiting for like Christmas vacation or Thanksgiving vacation so that we can see her. And it was just like I'm already at the point I missed my mother. So yeah. Okay, so it was a regular normal day at Job Corps, but it was different because usually I'm running in halls or in somebody else's room or doing something else, and you can't find me or get in touch with me. But on this particular day, I was in my room. I'm never in my room. I had just like recently moved to a new room. I had two different roommates. One of the girls, like, we was in the same class. We got along. I knew her. The other girl, I didn't really know her that well, and but my roommate, the one that I did know, they were close. So I used to never really be in a room like that because it was just like a new roommate. Well, it was like two new roommates, and you know, I just like didn't like to be in a room with them or whatever. So I was just sitting in the room. And usually, okay, the strange thing about this day is I'm never in my room. Never in my room. I was never in that room unless it was time to go to bed. And my sister was always at work. Like, we never was able to chill outside of like class or her being at work while we was at Job Corps. So this particular day, she was home from work and I was in my room. I'm never in my room. Luckily, I was in my room. So me and my roommates, we was just sitting on the bed, sitting on our beds, and I think we was watching something on TV. I don't know what it was that we was watching. So the room phone started ringing. And when you're in Job Corps, it's like hard to get in touch with somebody. Like, somebody from home calling you, they have to call you, they have to call the building, ask who they want to speak to. They have to call the building, ask who they want to speak to, what room they're in. The RA used have to find you or whatever, see if you're in your room. Or I had a room that had a phone in it, luckily, and the phone started ringing. So one of my roommates, she went to the phone, she answered the phone, and she said it's for me. So I was like, okay, who is it? Like, why are they calling me on the room phone when I got my cell phone? So I went to get the phone and just I said hello. The person said it was my cousin. She was like, hey. I was like, oh, hey. She was like, are you sitting down? I was like, no, but I can sit down. So I sit down real quick. And I sat on my bed and still had the phone in my hand. And she was like, I got to tell you something. When I say as soon as she said that she had to tell me something, I already knew what it was. She didn't even get a chance to tell me what it was. She did not get a chance to tell me what she had to tell me. I already knew. I said, it's my mama. When I said it's my mama, I didn't wait for her response. I didn't hear what she said on the other line after that. I just dropped the phone out of my hand. And I had on some clogs. So I ran out my room. In the midst of me running out my room, my clogs had came off and I had Crocs on. Okay, so I had Crocs on and I ran. Like, the first thing in my mind was to go tell my sister. I didn't even confirm what the news was that my cousin had to tell me. I just knew that it was, I just knew. It's just something told me what it was. And luckily I was in my room to answer the phone. So I ran so fast, and the RA, like, that's the residential advisor, she was in her office. And I ran past her so fast. I heard her say, "Tyra, why are you running?" I didn't care. I ran down that hall so fast to my sister's room. I banged on her door. Banged on her door. She was taking a nap at the time. I guess she was tired. Maybe she did work or something. I don't know, but she was taking a nap. I banged on that door so hard. I said, "Ray, Mom, Dad." I don't know exactly how I said it, but I know I told her our mama had died. We both broke down right there. Her door, like in her doorway. Like she opened the door. I was boohoo crying. I was hysterical. I was going crazy. I was boohoo crying, and she started crying. And all I remember is us right in the hallway holding each other, crying, screaming, going crazy. All the other like girls from that was in Job Corps was around us. The RA, I remember the RA being around me, asking, "Tyra, are you okay? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. I heard you say something about your mother." That's all I remember. And I remember one of my classmates, and she was beside me. I remember her holding me, and I don't really remember who was around. I just remember that one classmate, and I remember the RA, and I remember my sister. But I knew there was a lot of people around us, and we were just crying, boo-hooing. Like, it was just like so tragic, because I knew, like, I had a feeling like in my gut, like, and it was just a sad situation. So from there, we had to go home. We had to go home immediately. So we lived about, how long we lived? I think it was about a 5-hour like bus ride away from home. So they had to call, see when the next Greyhound was coming. And the next Greyhound wasn't coming until later on that night, about 8:30 or 9 o'clock that night. So we found out this news early. I'm not sure what time it was. I don't remember nothing. I just know we found out this news. It had to be about noonish, 11ish, noonish, somewhere around there. And we had to sit there, miserable, mad, wanting to get home so bad. But we couldn't go nowhere because the bus wasn't coming till that night. And we lived in like where our Job Corps was in, like it's like in the mountains, so like the bus rarely came. It didn't come like, you know, steady, so it rarely came. So it was like the worst feeling. Like I couldn't breathe. Like it was so hard. I could not stop crying. That day, that was the worst day. That was like one of the worst days of my life. And I remember just crying that whole day. So the bad part is I didn't know how my mother had died. I didn't even know the situation about when she died. I didn't know anything. All I knew is that my mother had died and I needed to get home. So they scheduled our bus ride, but we had to sit around this Job Corps building the whole day until it was time for us to get on our buses to go. And it was so sad because everybody kept coming up to us asking, "Are you okay? Are y'all alright?" Like, no, we're not okay. How do you, like, what is the answer for that? Like, if you ask me, is I'm okay, my mother just died, no, I'm not okay. So I just keep on saying, yeah, I'm okay, just crying. Trying not to talk, because every time I talk, I would cry more and more. I would cry out loud. Like, I was just doing, like, silent cries, and, you know, it was just terrible. So that same day, it had a parade going on outside of our Job Corps building, and I remember, like, later on that day, maybe, like, I'm not even sure the time, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I don't know. Later on, after, like, still been here for hours, just sitting crying, me and my sister just sitting crying, we had to go to the RA office and call home. She had to make sure that our mother had died. I didn't even talk to nobody this time. I just know she called and mother had died. I don't know. I couldn't talk. So, I guess I kind of not cooled down, but I was to the point where I'm not boo-hooing. So me and my sister decided to just go outside and sit like in the front. I guess the parade was going on. I don't know how we got outside. I don't know if somebody told us we should go out there and get our mind off it or something, but you can't get your mind off it. But anyway, parade was going on, and we ended up watching the parade. And I remember some of the girls coming up to us, and they had a card, and a lot of the other girls had signed the card telling us how sorry they were and stuff like that. And I think that was so sweet of them. Like, it was so nice. Like, it was just we was like broke down. And me, I don't like to show like how I'm feeling. I don't like to show my pain. I don't like to show none of my feelings or my emotions. So it was like hard for me not to cry. But these girls had gave us the card and they all had signed it. We read it. It was sad. And it was just like, it was so, the bad thing about it, because we had to wait. It was just like a waiting game. So we were just sitting there waiting to get home. So my sister, she is younger than me. But she is so much stronger than me. Like, she was able to fight back her tears better than I was. After our first little burst out little thing, yeah, she cried a lot there. But after that, that was it. That was the end of her crying. Me, I could not stop crying. I am my mother's twin. I love my mother. She was like a friend. Like, I could tell her anything. We talked about everything. Like, I just love my mom. So, in a way, I kind of felt guilty about her death because I feel like if I wasn't in Job Corps, I could have prevented her death from happening. Like, I feel like I could have made, like, I could have changed a lot of things, and I feel like how she died, that wouldn't have happened if I was home. So I felt guilty for a long time about my mother dying, and it was just so sad. Nobody knows, like, that I felt guilty. I might have mentioned it to my sister maybe once before, but I'm not sure. But I know I kept that to myself. Like, I felt guilty. Like, I felt like I could have prevented that from happening. And anyway, so by the time, when it was time for us to pack and get ready to get on the bus, when I say I don't know what I put in my suitcase, I just put probably not even, I don't think I put a whole complete outfit in my suitcase. I just threw a couple things in my suitcase and I was ready to go. So on a long bus ride home, I was crying the whole time. I was crying the whole entire time, just anxious to get home, anxious to like know if it's true. Like, did she really die? Like, I want to know. I'm anxious. So the whole bus ride, I cried. My sister beside me, she was not crying. She was holding it in. She's a fighter. Like, she's strong. Me, no, I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't. I broke down. So anyway, after once we got there, we went to my aunt's house. My aunt came pick us up from the Greyhound. So we went to her house, and I just felt alone. Like, I felt like I ain't have nobody. I was just alone. It was just like I didn't want to talk to nobody. I just didn't want to talk. I wanted to be to myself. Like, I'm ready to get to my mom. I'm ready to see her body. I'm ready to get to our old place. Like, where do we live? I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to go in her room. I'm trying to do everything. So we tried to go to the next day we tried to go home to, like, get some of our stuff or whatever. And I don't think we could get in there because we didn't have the key or something. So I had to go to the office and get the key, get an extra key so that I can get in the apartment. And I think we did it the next day. So the next day, after the first time trying to get in, which was a fail, the next day after that, we went in, I got in, and it was like, I just felt dead myself. Like, it was just like unbelievable. Like, I wanted to go in her room so bad. I didn't want to go in my room. I didn't want to go nowhere. I went to my mother's room. I was so scared to go back there because she actually, like, died in her bed. So I actually was so scared to go back there. But I wanted to go back there. I had to go back there to make sure she wasn't back there. So the whole situation is messed up because we lived with my mother. So where was we gonna come back home to? Like, it was just sad. And then we only had a few days to get our stuff out of there before, they emptied the apartment out. So I wanted everything of mine. I wanted my stuff. That was my room. I wanted all my belongings. But where was I going to take this stuff? Where was I going to put my stuff? Like, so at the moment, I think my cousin may have took us there, me and my sister. My cousin may have took us to the apartment. And I guess they was telling us to get what we want. I wanted everything. I couldn't get nothing. I wanted pictures of me and my mama. I wanted everything. I wanted everything out of the apartment. I didn't want to get the apartment up. But I'm in Job Corps. I'm not even at home. So I'm like, what can I do? So we ended up leaving out there. I didn't take nothing. I was just so depressed and so sad. Like, somebody should have, like, got our stuff out there for us. Like, we didn't get nothing out of there. I had clothes there, pictures, everything. All memories of my mother. Like, I would have took everything to have a memory of my mother out of there. But I didn't take nothing. I wanted to just sit there. I just want to sit there and look at the apartment. I thought about, when I stepped foot in there, I thought about everything that me and my mother used to do. I thought about everything. So we left. We didn't say nothing. We left. So we only was Job Corps only gave us I'm thinking a week to be home before we come back to Job Corps. A week. My mother, dad only get to come home for a week. So we stayed at my aunt's house, and it was just like sad. Like, I cried to myself in silence for 6 months straight every day. Nobody knows that I cried every day for 6 months straight. After like 6 months, maybe I cried every other day, then it started going down to like once every 3 days or something like that. But I always cried every day. It's not one day I did not think my mother's. To this day, it's still not one day I don't think my mother. I look just like her, and my voice is just like my mother's voice. I feel like I hear my mother's voice and me and my sister's voice. So every day I think my mama. I got her same like long face structure. I look like my mother. Her same skin complexion, her same lips, everything. So like, I was her twin. That's my mother, and I'm gonna think about her every day. But on another note, we had like, it's been like probably about 3 days now since about 3 days now since my mother had died, and we had all went to my aunt's house, and my grandmother lived with my aunt at the time. So everybody was sitting around talking about my mother's funeral and stuff that was gonna happen with the payments and all kind of stuff like that. So I used to always like grease my grandma's hair and scratch her hair every time I see her. So this particular day, she asked me to grease her hair and scratch it. So I was crying. I've been crying all day. I've been crying for the past 3 days nonstop. So when she asked me to do that, I had to like fight back my tears and all that. So while I'm scratching her hair, everybody in the family is sitting around talking about funeral arrangements and stuff like that, and I can't take it. I can't deal with that. Like, I don't want to be talking about this. I don't want to be here. Like, I just can't do it. So I had ended up going upstairs. I remember this like it just happened. I remember going upstairs in the bathroom, and I was just in there crying. I sat on the toilet, and I was just in there crying and crying and crying. I had stopped greasing my grandmother's hair, and I just stayed up there for hours. I was in the bathroom for hours and just crying. And then I remember my grandma coming up there in the bathroom, and she was like, I know, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. But it's not gonna be okay. Like, if you never lost a parent, like, you don't understand. It's not gonna be okay. Like, that's somebody who raised you. You've been around all the time, so it's never gonna be okay. But anyway, she came there, and I was just still crying. Like, I'm thinking, like, why would you even ask me to grease your hair at the state I'm in? Like, right now, I'm not in the mood to. I love you and all that, but I'm not in the right state of mind to grease your hair right now. Like, I just lost my mother. Like, I felt like nobody understood what I was going through. I feel like even my sister didn't understand. Like, yeah, she lost her mother too, but I feel like I was dealing with it harder, and it just was just sad. And eventually I got out the bathroom, and my grandma went back downstairs, and she was like, don't worry about it, you don't have to finish my hair. And I was just like, okay. But it was like everybody was in every room talking about the funeral, talking about her, talking about old moments, happy moments, laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing or joking about nothing that we used to do fun together. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about she's gone. So while y'all sitting around, oh, y'all remember she used to do this? Y'all remember that? Okay, y'all remember that, but I don't want to hear that. I'm just mad that she's gone. I'm sad right now. So I don't want to hear about none of the fun moments. I'm mad right now. So I was just so depressed after that. It was just so depressing. And we had to go to later, a few days later, we went to the funeral home. I wanted to see the body. We couldn't see the body yet. And they wanted to pick out caskets and stuff. Who? I don't want to pick out no caskets my mother be in. I'm not picking out no casket. I don't care which one y'all put her in. Don't ask me no questions. I don't want to know nothing. I didn't want to know nothing. I don't care. I don't care which casket she's in. But it was just like, it just hit me so hard. It was like the worst thing I ever been through. The worst pain. And I feel like now, like when somebody else die, the pain is never gonna be as strong as it was when my mother died. So like since my mother died, I've been to so many other funerals, but it just didn't hit me like it hit me when my mother died. No other funeral will. Like it just that hit me so hard. And okay, so let me tell y'all about the day that we was able to view her body. So we was able to go to the funeral home, and we got to view her body. And to this day, I remember everything about her casket, everything about how she looked. I can still see her clear picture of her body in her casket. I remember exactly how her dress looked. I remember how her nails were. I remember everything about her laying in that casket. I remember her eyelashes look. I remember every piece. Her little moles she got on her head. I remember everything about her body in that casket. And I was so scared to like touch her body. I just couldn't. I couldn't believe that was her laying right there. And then it was just so sad. I had already not seen her in so long. She was so small laying in that casket. And I was just like, I can't believe she gone. Like, I just can't believe she gone. And like, and if it was up to me, like, if I was able to make more decisions, I don't know. It was just so hard. It was a hard time for me. The funeral came. I was boohooing in the funeral. Her funeral was so packed. It was so many people there. I don't even remember who was there. I remember everybody hugging me, saying hi, how you doing, and stuff like that. But I don't remember nobody who was there. The only people I remember was there is my immediate family. I don't remember how nobody looked, what nobody had on. I don't even remember what my sister had on. I don't remember anything about that funeral. All I remember is me wearing some gray dress pants, and I remember how my mother looked in that funeral. And to come to think about it, I don't even know where I got these clothes from to wear to the funeral. I don't remember none of that. I remember the funeral being so packed. But it was just terrible. And then after that, we had to go back, take this long ride back to Job Corps. And I was miserable at Job Corps. I was crying every day to myself alone. Nobody knew. But I would sometimes excuse myself out of class and go in the bathroom and just cry. And I couldn't explain it to somebody. I couldn't tell nobody. Nobody understood what I was going through. It was just so sad. So if you lost a parent, it is so hard to get over. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, to this day, I still miss my mother. And sometimes I still sit and cry. Like, if I sit and think about something, I would really cry thinking about it, because I just miss my mom. And I'm always going to miss her until that day I die and I see her again. So if y'all lost a parent, just keep your head up. Like, it's hard. You think it's not going to get better when it's fresh, but it's going to get better. Like, it get easier. But you're never going to stop missing that person. Like, you're never going to stop missing that person. Never. And yeah, that's just my story. But let me tell y'all about, like, it was just crazy. So that's how I found out my mother died, and that was the worst experience of my entire life. I don't wish a parent's death on nobody. It's just sad. Yeah, we're supposed to bury our parents. They're not supposed to bury us, but I don't want to bury my parent. Like, no. That is the worst pain. Like, it really hurts your heart when your parent died. Like, it said, then a piece of me was taken that can never come back. All I can do is remember her. And the bad thing about it, I had pictures. I had made like I had took pictures of her in her casket. I had made like a photo album of just pictures of me and her and my sister. And I had pictures of her and her casket in there in the end. I had her obituary. I had her death certificate, everything in this photo album. And I had moved out of my apartment, and it had I put it in the storage, and I had lost my storage, so I no longer have any of those memories. I don't have any of those pictures. I don't have an obituary. I don't have none of our old pictures. I don't have anything. So that's another story. But yeah, so now all I can do is, like, I have like a couple pictures like from Facebook or something that I can look at, but I don't have any like physical pictures that I can hold in my hand of my mother and me or nothing like that. And Yep, so that's the end of my story. Thank you guys for watching Tyra's Time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.